Can you see my screen? Okay. So yesterday we were talking about we went to the table view and we did some additional column, we did some manipulation. So let me go back to visualization. The last thing we did on visualization was basic filtering. Can we remember when we tried to filter, we did page level filtering and report level filtering. Do you remember? Okay, so that day we stopped at basic level filtering, which is you try to filter a page based on a particular parameter. Take for example, in this page we have different visualization. We have sum of sales volume per region. We also have some cards here showing the total average price. We have some of sales volume per region. Same. This is the same chart. This is just a column chart and this is the bar chart. We also have a line chart. So I'm going to be moving to the next filter, but let me revise the basic filtering just in case you've forgotten. So imagine you want to filter this page based on region. Let me go to another page that does not have so much sales per region. Yeah, maybe a page like this. You want to only show a particular region. For example, you are not willing to show all the regions. So you can always on this filter pane, we have filter pane, we have visualization pane, and we have data pane. So in this filter pane, you can always drag whatever parameter you're trying to on. So in our case, we are trying to filter on region. So you just drag it here. So mind you, there are two. We have filters on this page. Filters on this page is going to filter based on every visualization on this page. But filters on all pages, it means that whatever you click here, um whatever region, in our own case, whatever region you click here is going to affect all your visualization. Take for example, you click on Greater Manchester. If it is on all pages, you are going to be having only visualization based on Greater Manchester on other pages. So the first one we talked about was basic filtering. So here you have basic filtering and you have advanced filtering. So for basic filtering, assuming I just want to see only Greater Manchester, for example, so all my visualization on this page will be based on Greater Manchester. So here we can only see that we have some of sales volume for only Greater Manchester and the rest, and also this one we only have for Greater Manchester. So the second one that I would like to talk about is the advanced filtering. So for advanced filtering, this one it's more advanced than the basic filtering where you just pick just one filter. Here you're able to you have other options of picking. Let's say you want to pick you are trying to find a you are trying to pick region that contains a particular let's say for example in our own case, let's say we want to find we want to only show regions that contains west, for example. So you can always just pick the contains, and here you click, you write whatever you want, west, then apply filter. So you can see that we have West Midlands and West Yorkshire. So here, assuming just like it, because in our case we only have 6 regions, so you might be feeling like it is not, this part is not important. But take for example, you are working with a data of employees. So you are trying to find maybe employees that have this particular that are in this particular, what's it called, department. Do you understand? So and maybe you have a lot of departments in your company. Maybe it's a very, very large company. Do you understand? So you might not be able to like pick it one by one and feel like, okay, should be just West Midland and West Yorkshire. I can always pick it on my basic filtering, because for your basic filtering, like I mentioned, you can always pick two. You can select more than one. You can decide to select more than one. Do you understand? But so imagine you have a lot of regions and you just want to find the ones that are in the West, for example. So you can always use your advanced filtering, where you just say, okay, it contains, and you also have other ones, does not contain. Do you understand? Let's say it does not contain West. So every other thing apart from West Midland and West Yorkshire, you'd notice that that's what is going to display for you. So now we have only Greater Manchester, Merseyside, South Yorkshire, and Tyne and Wear. Do you understand? Then, okay. So you can also use it for numbers as well. It's not
Please,
only
sorry, please, I
yes.
just joined. Please, can you come back to this?
To which one? Where should I start from?
I just joined us.
You just joined. Let me
Joined.
see. Is that
Okay, okay, okay.
okay? Okay. So, like I was saying, so for advanced filtering, you can also filter numbers instead of region. For example, let's assume that we don't want to use region name. In this case, we want to use, let's say, year. But before I add my year, I want something that is going to be able to indicate the years that we have. Let's go to a visualization that really shows the year. Yes, this shows year, right? So now let's assume I'm trying to filter based on year. So I'm just going to right click, drag. So now for advanced filtering, you can also say, since it is no is a number, it is not a text value. So we have less than or equal to, greater than, we have is, we have blank. So take for example, you want to find, let's say you want to only show visualization based on your visualization, you want to only limit it to between 2000 and 2009, for example. Remember that our year starts from 1995, so you only want, let's say, 2009 to 2000 and 2000 to 2009, for example. So all you just need to do is say, okay, greater than or equal to 2000 and less than or equal to 2009. Then you apply filter. So you notice that we only have from 2000 to 2009. Does anybody understand what I just did? Do you understand this O less than or equal to? It means that it is either less than, I mean, it's either greater than 2000 or equal to 2000. So from 2000 upwards, then this one is less than or equal to 2009. It means that below 2009 or 2000. So which means that at 2009, then that's 2009 downwards. Do you understand? Okay. So also after that, we also have something we call another visualization we have is top end. So for this top end, you will not find it here on your page level filter. Let me cancel that. If you want to erase that, just click on this X and you just exit out. So for visualization for top end, let's assume that you want to, there is a visualization I would like to use for that explanation. Yeah. So here, this visualization is actually showing us the sum of sales volume per year for every region. So each color represents a particular region. You can see here that this first one is Greater Manchester, then the second one Merseyside, we have South Yorkshire, Tyne and Wear, blah blah blah. So assuming you just want to find the region whereby you have the highest sales volume. So let's just say you want to find the top two, for example, something like this. it only works on a particular visualization, not the entire page. So if you want to do top N, you have to click on the visualization that you want to work on. So in our case, we want to find the top two regions that have the highest sales volume every year. So you click on this visualization. Once you click on this visualization, you now have something like filters on this visualization. Before, if you click out, you are not going to find it. So now we have filters on this visualization, filters on this page, and filter on all pages. So you are going to go to the filters on this visualization. What you want to find is the top two regions that have the highest sales volume, right? So what you do is that you're going to go to your region name. You're trying to find the top two region, right? So here you click down, you're going to see advanced filtering, basic filtering, and top N. So this is what we are trying to work with. Click on your top N. If you want to see the top two, for example, in our case, we're going to click on two. And by what value? We want to know the highest, the top two regions that have the highest sales volume. So which means that here you are trying to find the top two by sales volume, right? So you just click down, let's say, okay, so this is our sales volume, then you just drag it here, then you apply filter. So now we have only these two. The top, the top one, let's go back. Let me exit out so I can see that we have Greater Manchester and West Yorkshire. So here we can see that Greater Manchester, we have Greater Manchester on the topmost. Then if you think this other one, this Merseyside is the next one, you are kind of wrong, because if you check the numbers, judging by the numbers, Greater Manchester is 61,000. Then the next is West Yorkshire. Can you see that? Does anybody understand what I'm trying to do? Because if you think that it's just by the way the legend only the legend arranged it the legend arranged it this way, but does not mean that it is exactly the way it's supposed to be in ascending order, because it is not sorted. Normally, you're able to sort each visualization by clicking on this dot to sort your legend. Let's say you want to sort your legend ascending order, for example, or let's say descending order. So if you sort descending order, you'd notice that it sorts from W to G. Do you understand? It doesn't sort with your, what's it called? The sum of sales values. It sorts with the alphabet. Do you understand? So here, when you click on the visualization and you're hovering over it, you'd notice you're able to see the number. So for the number, the greatest one is the highest one is Greater Manchester, which is 61,000, followed by West Yorkshire. So here, when you click on your top two and you add sales volume right here and you apply filter, so now you're able to see that the top two are Greater Manchester and West Midlands. Do you understand? So okay, so that's that for top N. You can also find the bottom two as well. It's the same thing. Just click on bottom two and apply filter. Then you see that we have Tyne and Wear and South Yorkshire for the bottom two. So there's another visualization that we've kind of mentioned but not really into details. It's also used for filtering, but it's more of a visualization. Instead of coming to this place to drag your column to filter, it's a visualization. It's called slicer, and this is it in the visualization just beside the KPI, the one that has something like funnel. That's our slicer. So basically, slicer is also a is also used for filtering, but it's more of a visualization, and it's also used like if you use this slicer and you click on anything that you want, you're able to visualize, you're able to filter all the entire chart on this page. On any page you put it, you're able to filter the entire visualizations on the page. So let's assume that we want to filter based on year, for example. So you're going to make sure that you're still clicking inside. Then you let's start with date. So for date, you can see some if you let me increase the font. Let me increase the font. So here you can see that we have something like a calendar here. So you're able to pick that okay, you want from January 1995, the first, to let's say December to December 1995, the first. That's what I'm trying to. 31st. So you'd notice that our entire visualization now it has changed. We don't have any visualization that contains year here, so you might not be able to. Yeah, we have. This is a line chart that shows only 1995, and you can also decide that it's only year you want. Let's click out and just drag our year. So for this year, you can see we have this slider that you can use to slide between. Let's say you just want to see from 2003. This is 2003 to 2016. Even from your line chart, you can see that that starts from 2003 to 2015. So this for formatting of this slicer, we have different settings. You can decide that you want this the one of this between, which is the one of the slider. You can decide to have a vertical list of your years. So when you click on it, you notice a difference. You can always click on multiple ones by clicking on control. You make sure that you're holding on your control key, then you just click on whatever number of years you want. So if you click out, you're able to pick just 1 year. Do you see that? So we have other ones as well. We have the tile. So it appears this way. You're also able to click and control anytime you want to click on double year or number of years, you just click on your control. We also have drop down, it's more or less like the list. And we also have yeah, between was the first one we had. Then we have less than or equal to. So you'd you can pick anyone that suits you. So in my own case, I prefer the between actually. You're able to slide your slicer. So just like every other visualization, you can always increase your font. You can change your font color, the background of your slicer here. You can also change that to anything you want. Let's just assume changing it to purple, for example. So you can see that you have color there. That's too dark. So also, let me see. We also have the slicer header, which is this year that is written on top. You can always change the font, increase the font, centralize it. The font color, change the font color, border, background for the year, this particular part. There's also a background for it, and the entire visualization itself. You can always put a background if you want. You can also use the visual border, like I mentioned, these borders that separates each visualization. So that's the visual border. So you can always increase the rounded corners just like this, just to make it look more beautiful. You can always do that. So that when you click out, you can see the difference now. So that's that for slider. Does anybody have any question before I move on? Anyway, no question. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to move on to is drill through. So I think I just kind of mentioned it the last time. I think that's last week before I left. So drill through for this one, like if you want, drill through is basically used in a case whereby it's also a filter, but in this case, it helps you to visualize a part for like if you want to get a great like a more like you want to get a greater detail on a particular topic. Take for example, you want more details on your region or a particular year. You want to get more information about that year, so you can use drill through. Drill through is different from drill drill up. The one we did here, I'm coming. We what's the visualization? We actually add. Does anybody remember what I'm talking about? The drill up and drill down.
Yes.
You can remember where we are able to yeah, here,
Yes.
something like this. So this one is drill up and drill down. It is different from drill through, where you can see multiple visualization inside one particular chart. So here you're able to see that okay, this is just um your your region name versus the sum of sale. Then when you drew on one hierarchy, you're able to see the region name for each year for the sales volume. Then you can see for each month, that is drill up and drill down. But drill through is different. So let's assume, let me create a new page for that. I think I have an empty page here. So let's assume that I want to create a cluster column chart, for example, showing the year and sales volume. Let's say sum of sales volume. Then another cluster column chart. And just copy that. Yeah. Then let me change this to monthly. Another column chart. Let's change this instead of year and sum of sales. Let's take our dates and maybe average of this 12 months yearly change. So I'm going to be changing this to average, and maybe a line chart, at least to have a different type of chart. A line chart that shows, let's say, average price or flat price. Let me choose flat price. Flat price. Semi-detached price, and maybe terraced price for each year. So I would like to change everything to average. Average. Yeah, I'm going to rename that. It's too long. Yeah, so we have this series of visualization. It's just my own guesses, just for basically help you to like gain more insight about a particular topic that you're trying to work on. Let's say, take for example, you want to know yearly how sales, like how the year affects the detached price, semi-detached price, terrace price, like all those, the sales volume, everything like that per year, or maybe a particular region. You want to know how well that particular region is doing in terms of the sales volume, in terms of the prices of houses. Do you understand? So that's when we use geotru. So there's now something we do. In this particular case, you add the whatever column that you're trying to find more information on, you add it here. Just come to this visualization, then you scroll down. You see something like drill through. We have cross reports, we have keep all filters. These keep all filters, it means that whatever filters that you have on this page before, let's assume that you've added a filter on this page, showing, let's say, the region name, take for example, and you've selected Greater Manchester, for example. So here you only have visualization for Greater Manchester, right? But when you click out of these keep all filters, it means that anytime you want to use your drill through, it is going to be based on only whatever you're trying to drill through, not the filters that you have before. So let's click out of our keep filters, then add our region name to this drill through. So anytime you had that, just make sure that under here you have used as category and we have summarized. I've never seen a used case where we use this summarized, but just make sure that it is on used as category, right? So here you're able to see all your visualization and all your regions. So immediately you add your drill through in this page. Let me shift this visualization to the side. You notice an arrow here. So this arrow is going to, if you want to drill through from one page to another, this arrow is going to be taking you back to the previous page. Take for example, we've not drilled, so I'm going to be trying to drill through. So if you go to another page and you click on visualization, let's assume that you want to find, okay, let's assume you want to find you want to see those visualizations for Greater Manchester, for example. You right click, then you see an option drill through. So we have drill through on our page 11, I guess. So once you click on that, everything on this page is going to be based on Greater Manchester. So just so that you can see the difference, I'm going to be adding a card. Um, yeah. So I'm going to be adding a card here that is going to be showing us our region. Um, region name. Oh, we have a visualization here before that was erased. I have to go back. I'm coming. I think when I clicked on the card, it changed one of my visualizations to a card. Did anybody notice that? I just noticed. Yeah, so this visualization, sorry. So you have to click out anytime you want to create a visualization, you have to click out, or else it's going to change that visualization to a new one. So here I'm trying to, so let me just do a little bit of formatting. Okay, so let's go back to page one. So let's assume West Yorkshire, for example. You click and click on drill through. That's page 11. So this entire visualization is going to be showing you everything relating to West Yorkshire. Does anybody understand? Let me try to rename the
No,
page. You don't. From where? Sorry.
read through.
The process or what it does? Is it the
Both,
process of
both.
both? Okay. After creating this visualization, I just created this visualization just to explain to you. Let's assume that you want this particular page for your drill through whereby it's able to show you visualization based on a particular topic that you're trying to about. Assuming that, so in our case, I'm assuming that if for you want to use this visualization for your region, so I can see each region how it performs. You want to see for West Yorkshire, you want to see the sum of sales volume per year. You want to see the sum of sales volume per month. You want to see the average 12-month percent change per year. You want to see the semi-detached price, flat price, semi-detached the detached price and terrace price for only South and for only West Yorkshire for a particular region. Do you understand? So I created this page in such a way that anytime I want to see for a particular region, I'm going to be able to see different visualizations for that particular region and gain more insights. Let's assume I need the monthly sales for something or the yearly sales for something. Do you understand? So if you want to, it's just another way of filtering. Instead of coming here and bringing your region name here for this page and saying that okay, you want to select only a particular region. This is because we already drew through. That's why we're only seeing West Yorkshire here. So instead of doing that, the other way you can do it is using drew through. So you can go to any page at all, and because we are drilling through on region name, so you can go to any page at all and be like, okay, any page that has your visualization. Okay, this is Midlands, right? You can just click on any one here. This is when you over by it, you see that this is south. This is somewhere. Just right click. The page is drill through. I renamed it to drill through. You can see everything relating to time and where. It might be looking like there is no difference, but if you look at this line chart, you notice that there's a difference. So all the visualization here are only showing for a particular region, even though the visualization, like I mentioned last week, even if your visualization does not show region name, this particular visualization shows only year versus sales volume, right? But it is actually the sales volume for this year is actually the summation of all the sales volume for every region. So the moment you start filtering, it shows only for time and where. Do you get my point?
Yes, yes, yes.
Normally, if you don't filter this page, yeah, okay. Normally, if you don't filter it, this 1995 is supposed to show you sales volume for the entire regions that you have. Greater Manchester plus time and where and everything, like the 6 regions, going to add everything. But now that we filtered it, it's going to be showing us only. So that's why I added this card so that you are able to understand and see that okay, it keeps changing. It's not just one region that we have here. All the visualization here is showing for a particular region. So now you're able to see that okay, this is the peak for China where the peak is 2000 and what's it called 2003. It's went down. This is the list sum of sales volume we have here 2009. You're able to see, but you are just sure that this particular visualization is only showing for time and where. Does anybody have any other question on this structure? So like I said, when I wanted to drill through, I clicked out of this keep all filters. Normally, if I click on this click all filters, remember what we did on editing filter this last week, where when you click on a particular bar, for example, it shows you only for that particular bar. This is West Midlands. It shows for West Midlands in all other um, visualization. So in this case, if you leave your keep all filters on for your drill through page and you've highlighted a particular region, for example, let's highlight a year instead. Let me pick um let me change this to drop down, no vertical list. So assuming that I already clicked on 1997 and now I went to Greater Manchester and I want to drill through, you notice that it doesn't only pick Greater Manchester for me, it also filtered based on that 1997 that I filtered in my page one. So once you leave this keep all filters on, it's going to filter based on everything that you are trying to like on that page. You are trying to filter based on Greater Manchester here, but then you still have a filter showing only 1997 on this page. So take for example, I click out and I drill through Manchester, there will be no problem. I'm only showing Manchester, Greater Manchester here. But the moment if you, mind you, this back arrow, if you want to go back to the first page where you drew through from, just click Control and then you click on it. So it takes you back to the page you drew through on. So what I mentioned about this keep all filter is that once you still have another filter on that page, let's assume I'm taking to 1997, 1998 to 2000, and I also want to drill through based on West Midland. So you notice that on this page we have 1997 to 2000 for West. Please, if you have a question, let me know. Does anybody understand?
Yes, but sorry, man. The deal through is it that you right click before bringing the options?
Is it that I watch?
Is it that you right click on your cursor that is bringing out the deal through options?
Yes. When you go to page, this is to based on South Yorkshire, I right click, then you see drill through. Then whatever page you have. So probably there's a drill through here on this page then, but then this is where our own drill through is page. So that's why I named it. Do I have drill through on this page? It looks like I have drill through on this page. Let me remove it. So you can always also you can drill through based on year as well. Like I mentioned, is whatever topic you are trying to drill through on, whatever topic you are trying to gain more insight on, that's what you use for your drill through. Take for example, now in our own case, let's say you just want to drill through based on year. For example, you bring your year, you drop it here. So once you go to another page, for example, and you click on any year, this does not have year. Yes, we have year here. So let me drill up first. Let me just go to another page that has here. Okay, so here we have 1995. Looks like it doesn't work on this kind of years. Where is that page that I have my slicer? Looks like it's page one. Okay, so page one. So if I decide to drill through based on 2000 and let's say 2000, you right click, then you say drill through. So we can now see that everything on this page shows only for 2000. Even some of sales volume per month. This month shows for only 2000. January to December for only 2000. This visualization also shows for only 2000. Does anybody understand? And if you want to go back to the page where you drew through from, just control then click. Any question? Does anybody have any question before I move on? Okay, so buttons. I think I was on buttons and action. Where is it? Yeah. So this was what I created last before I ended the class last week. Trying to add buttons. So let me start all over for people that were not here. So normally you can add buttons. Let me go to my drill through page. So instead, we have a button here normally, but then it might not be prominent enough, and you might just decide that you want to customize yours. Take for example, so you can always add your own um, shape or buttons. So here we have. I'm going to be picking. I prefer to use a shape that looks like a left arrow. So here you can resize it. So it might be more prominent. So this is a left arrow, but you might be thinking that if you click on it, something is going to happen. No, nothing is going to happen until you give it an action. So here you can actually use this button as an action button by going to the once you click on it's also a visualization like these other ones. When you click on it, you're able to see formats, visual and whatever. So here you're going to click on it. Once you click on it, you're able to see the formatting. Here you can decide to format it. You can decide to have more rounded corners like this. It's going to look funny, but then you can do a lot of formatting here. You can change the color, but the most important thing I want to explain here is the action. Once you click on the action, it now works as a button instead of an ordinary shape. So what do you want to use the action for? You might want to use the action for a back button, whereby once you click on it, it goes back to the previous page. And if you want to do that, so you can use it as a back button. Like I said, you can use it as a drill through button, whereby it goes back to the previous page that you drew through, or just a back button. So you notice that when you hover over it, it says click control plus click here to go back to the previous page in this report. The previous page you went to. So if you control plus click on it, it goes to the previous page, which is this page. This was the page where I deleted the button. Do you understand? You can also use it as a drill through button. Change this to from back to drill through. So once you click on it, once you overwrite, I mean, you notice it says, so let's go back to page one and let's drill through so that we can come back there. Assuming you want to drill through based on 1998, drill through. So it shows us 1998. So in this case, you are able to control plus back. That's not working. Hmm, okay. I don't know why it's not working. But it's supposed to actually drill through. It's supposed to help go back to the former page we drew through on, and I don't know why it's not working. Uh,
I think that one is different. Is it not that one on top? It's on top. It's not that arrow.
no, I'm talking about. I just made it an action button. Remember, yes, this would take us back to our previous button, our previous chart where we drew through based on. Yes, but I'm talking about this particular um I'm talking about this particular one that I just created. It was what a back button, but it's not working as a true button. It's just stagnant. I'll look into that. It was working as a back button. It's not even working. Okay. It's working as a back button. But don't let us waste time on that. So there is another thing I want to mention here when we are creating our visualization. Uh, you usually notice that we have here, we usually have values, we have drill through, then we have well, anytime we create our what's it called, our column chart, we have x-axis, we have y-axis. We've used legend before now, right? On this page, we use legend somewhere here. Legend to show different region. Yeah, here we use legend here. Let me click on the visualization so that I can remember. We used the x-axis, the y-axis, the legend as region name. So that every region, every color shows a particular region. Let's, for example, inside this start column chart, we have this blue to be Greater Manchester, then this color for each region. So there's something we've not mentioned here, which is the small multiples. So for these small multiples, like it's okay. Take for example, let me create a chart here on this page. Let me create um, a stack column chart would be nice. And I want to see the sales volume per year. So assuming you have a chart like this that shows you the sales volume per year. So how do you think we can see 6 versions of this chart in such a way that you're able to see each region? Normally, if you want to see each region, you want to know the sales volume per year. Let's say, take for example what we did here in our drill through, where you're able to see that okay, this particular chart shows Greater Manchester. So what can you do? Like from the former filtering that we've been doing, you can always do what? You can always say, okay, filters on this page. You can just add maybe your region name on this page and just say, okay, you want Greater Manchester. Then if you want to see for Merseyside, you click on Merseyside. If you want to see for South Yorkshire, you click on South Yorkshire. But if you notice, it looks like it's the same chart, but it's not the same because they are what's it called? Sorry. You notice that their calibration is different. This starts from 60K, from 0 to 60K. Let's click on Merseyside. You notice that it looks the same, exactly the same, even if you click on another one. The chart looks the same, but the calibration is different. This ends at 70K for Tyne and Wear. You notice that this ends at 30K. So there's a difference. So there's another way that you can actually do that without this filtering, and it will show you for each year on this same page. So what do? You already have your chart showing sum of sales volume for each year. Now you want to see for each region. All you need to do is that you click on your charts so that you can see all this other information. So you have small multiples here. That's why you drag your region name. So once you drag your region name on your small multiple, you're able to see for each region. Now you have Greater Manchester, Merseyside, South Yorkshire, Tyne and Wear. You can scroll down. You see for West Midland and West Yorkshire. So you're able to see the difference now because everything is on 0 to 60K. So you're able to see the ones that are actually high and the ones that are low. So here you can decide that you want to sort it in such a way that, let's say, um you want to see the you want to sort this small multiple based on the sum of sales volume. And you want to see the ones that are more prominent, the ones that have higher sales volume. I'm trying to sort descending order so that I can see the yes. So you can see that from here, from our visualization, we can see that Greater Manchester is the first. Second is West Midland, West Yorkshire. Now we are going to the lower ones, the Merseyside, South Yorkshire, and Tyne and Wear. The same calibration will be able to show you how different they are. Does anybody understand my point? So this small but multiple is going to be able to show you for each region the same chart but for each region. Am I communicating?
Yes.
Is there any question? So let's go to another visualization. We have another visualization gauge. Let's go to gauge. This is a gauge. Let me increase that. So for this gauge, it shows you it's different from slides, it's different from a card, but then it shows you some particular number and you're able to, let's take for example, you want to know the average, what's it called, average price for maybe a terraced flat, for example. Let's just pick one of these prices, add it here. So apart from, if it is a card, let me use a card I mentioned. that you use card for if you want to find a particular, like you want to show a particular number that is very important to your visualization. Let's say you just want to find the average. I'm going to change that to average. You want to know the average price for a terraced flat, for example, across all regions. I hope you know that this is across all regions. So you can use a card, but for a gauge, the difference is that this is sum. So I'm going to change that to average. So for a gauge, the difference is that every gauge you have though, you are going to it's going to always, like by default, you always have it in the middle. It's always going to give you your minimum value as 0 and your maximum value as twice the number you have here. But assuming you have a target value, let's say um let's assume you are working on, let's say you have a company and you are working on your the prices for your products, for example, and you have a target. You have a target value, you have the minimum value that a product must be sold, and the maximum value, and you have a target value, take for example. So that's when you use something like that's when you use this visualization, this gauge. So it's always good to add your minimum and maximum value, because it's going to give you this, it's always going to be in the middle. Because let's assume I'm changing this to semi-detached price, for example. No, I'm adding semi-detached price here, and I change that to average. You see that it's always in the middle. So it's always good to add your value. So assuming that you are trying to add your minimum value here, it's so I'm going to be adding a I'm just going to be putting a number here. Going to go to my, I think, gauge access. Yeah, so here minimum value, I'm going to change it to, let's say, 50,000, for example, and maybe my maximum value is 150. So did you see that? Now there's a difference. It's normal in the middle because what we have here is 102, and normally by default it would have given us something like 204 here, twice the number here. So now we are able to, you have a minimum value and a maximum value. So there's also another one here that we call the target value. So assuming that your value is that, okay, any value that correlates with the average flat price is our target value. So you can always go to your visual here and add the target value here. I want to use the average flat price for my target value. I'm going to add it here and change this to average. So you'd notice a line here. This line shows the average, um, it shows the target value, and which means that this particular for this particular visualization, you've exceeded your target, and that's a positive value. Does anybody understand my point?
Yes.
Can anybody think of a scenario where we can use this gauge? Another scenario apart from what we're using right now. Like if you really understand what I'm trying to say. I just don't want to be explaining and you not get it. We all understand, right? There's no question, but let's see if there's anybody that can think of a scenario where we can use this gauge.
Hello.
No. What's no? No
I
for
said
what?
hello, hello ma. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I think based on my own understanding, let's say the company is trying to they're trying to make a certain profit per annum. You can just try to set a target. Or for instance, per annum we should be making like maybe $200,000 per annum. So I think you can just try to set a target for it. Maybe a minimum target or maximum target. I don't know. Maybe the two can be set on that same cage chart.
Yeah, there is a minimum value, there is a maximum value, there is a target value.
Okay, okay,
Do you understand? Yes. So thank you very much. So I think we all understand, right? It does anybody not understand? So I think I've explained this card enough. So there's another. So for this card, you can only have one value. This particular one can only have one value displayed here. If it is a number, it's going to show you just that number. But if it is a card showing a text, for example, region name, all the default is that it's only going to show you the first region name, alphabetical order. We have from Greater Manchester to West Yorkshire. So it's always going to show you the first, or if you change it to the last, it should be West Yorkshire. If you change it to count, it's going to count distinct. It's going to count the number of regions that you have, distinct regions, which is six in our own case. And also, if you are counting, it's going to count for um, each time it occurs here. Mm, so for every time it occurs here, that's what is going to count for normal count. And I don't think that is even necessary in our own case. So there's another one that can show multiple, um, it can show multiple visualization, multiple numbers, sorry. So that is multi-row card, the one after it. So for this multi-row card, you can decide to say, okay, you want to see the average price for this, let's say average terraced price, change it to average. You can also see some of sales volume. Just pick anything. You can see multiple, it just keeps showing you different numbers. Instead of just one, you can see multiple numbers, depending on whatever you want to use this particular visualization for. So basically, and the and for the formatting is very similar to that of the card. We have colored values. These are the colored values, these numbers. You can always increase the font. Then category labels. These are the category labels. Average of the list price, blah blah blah. You can decide to also increase the font. You can so the style of the card, it can be border position, can be top, can be bottom. Can you see that? You see these borders, left, right. This is going to just carve it out. When you click out, can you see that? So you can also add border, your visual border, put that on, and maybe your rounded corners. So that's that about multi-row cards. Does anybody have any questions so far? Yeah, and there's something I didn't mention here under the formatting, changing the colors. So for there is fill color, which is the normal color we have here, and there's target color. So assuming that whenever it's whenever you have your target met, you want a particular color. Coming. This target color is basically just this line, but then what I want to explain is it's going to take us to conditional formatting. Yeah, this is conditional formatting. So in this case, it shows you different. It depends on the condition that you define. So it shows you different color. So take for example here we have for the minimum. What do we use for the minimum? So for our target color, our target is 75K in our case. So you can just assume that if your value is around, let's start with 50K. Let's see how that goes. If it's around 50K and your maximum is 76K, let's change this to red and this to green. So this green is indicating that I'm going to go back to my FX so that we can understand. This green is indicating that we are at our maximum. Does anybody understand? If our target is just like who answered the question the other time? Somebody answered the question and said something like was it, let me see. I was not able to notice the person. I think was it Taufik?
Yes,
Yes. So why you're talking about when you were talking about the targets, the maximum and minimum target. Let's assume that you have a target of 75K, for example, but then you still feel like if you have between let's say between this 50K is too small. Let's say between 60, from 60K to 75 to 76K is still acceptable. So you'd notice that your colors will change now. Let me change this to 90K. So it's still in green because it is around this side. Let me add the middle color yellow. It should give me yellow around, let's say, 75,000. 75,000. Okay. That's actually supposed to change to yellow, leaning
Maybe it's
toward,
because it has 28K with it. It's 5,028. Maybe that's why.
yeah, if I'm thinking that, let me say 76K. Mm, still around that yellow, I mean, around that green. because it is leaning towards this. Let me change this to 65. It's not changing.
Let's try 37 640.
At what?
37 640.
I can't hear you.
Now I'm trying to look for the 75,000 divided
For
by
the
2.
Yeah, it's just leaning towards 100, 100. Let me change this to 80. That's refused to change. Oh. Well, you can actually do that for the fill color. Let's change that of the fill color as well. So our minimum value is 50K from our visualization and our maximum value is 150. So if I'm going to change this to red, then this to green. Let me add the middle color of yellow. So I'll be adding 75K. So it is green because it is leaning to sorry. It is green because it is leaning towards the 150. This is 102 and our minimum is let me change this to 120 and let's see what happens. 120K. Still kind of green, but not really as green as this. Um
Ma, you typed 15,000.
oh yeah, thank you. 150K. So now we can see the difference. This is more yellow. And maybe that's what even happened here. Okay, that's not what happened. This is 100K, this is 80K. So does anybody understand what we're just trying to do? I'm just playing around with it, but in real life, in real sense, you have a real target that you're going to work with. Do you understand? So that's for gauge. We also have another visualization that I've not spoken about. I think, yeah, maps. Which was that? Sorry. So basically, we all like from what we know about maps, we know that it shows it's going to be showing locations, right? So here we have location, we have legend, we have latitude, longitude, bubble size, blah blah. So for location, this our particular this our table. We have area and region. Those are the only two column. Those are the only two columns that show location, right? So we can start with our region. We can put our region name here under this location. So here, if you have a problem and it says map and field regions are disabled, to enable them go to file, options and settings, then you go to global security. So here, if you're having the same problem, this is not my laptop, so it has not been saved. So you go to file, then you go to options and settings, your options. Are you following me? If you've clicked on it and it's giving you the same error, so that we can work through it together.
Yes, ma.
Yes.
Okay, so you go to files, then once you get to your option global, you're going to go to, I mean, going to go to security, then you scroll down so you can use map and field visuals. Then you click on OK. So once you do that, you can now start all over. Click on your map and then bring your region name here. So here now you are able to see. Let me take this to another page. So now we are able to see our regions around here with the bubbles. So here you also have legend, and you also have something called the bubble size. So this bubble size, it's going to be like, let's say you want to show this map based on, let's say, sales volume, for example. So it's going to be, the bubbles will be as big as the sales volume itself. So let's add our sales volume here. So the bigger the bubble, the bigger the sales volume. So you can see that this is the biggest. Now this is probably Greater Manchester, yeah. Probably Greater Manchester. So once you click on each and every bubble, you're able to see the particular region they are. So I think map is just as simple as that. And for the settings, you have the style, this is road style. There's also one area, that one is darker. Then you have dark, you have lights. So we started with the road. So whatever one suits you, you pick. We also have bubbles. The bubbles, you can change the size of each one. It's going to change for everything. You can also change the color to whatever you want. You can, the labels here, if you want it on, because it is off, if you want it on, it's going to show you the particular region you are at the moment. So, and for the general, you can also add your, for the title, this is where the title is. You can always change your title, increase the font. Let's say just want to say sales volume by region, for example. You can also increase the font, centralize it, put in bold, different things you can do. And also add effects, show your visual border, assuming you're not using a particular one for a page, rounded corners, all those things that we do. So basically, there's also another type of map that we have. Let me reduce this. We also have heat map. So we also have heat map. They are basically this is field map. Sorry, it said heat map. Field map is basically the same thing. Location, just another type of map that you can use. And you can also add your legend. You can also add what's it called? Maybe you want to use a region name as a legend as well. So it's going to give you this region name in different colors that you have here. Where is it? How is it? What else have I not mentioned? Have we talked about matrix? Yes, we've done that here. Matrix is basically just like pivot table. Yeah, here. This is our matrix where we are trying to show the month per region for each sales volume. Can anybody remember that one?
Yes.
Okay. Let me try to. What else have we not mentioned about this visualization? So basically, the most important parts I've mentioned, but then there are just some additional stuff that I might just have to like send. So I might just have to upload some videos for you guys to watch because it's just like Excel. It has so many components, but then there are just some important things that you just need to know. The most important thing you need to know under Power BI is how to create a visual that suits what you want to like, what you want to communicate. If you have an insight you want your audience to understand, you should know the type of charts you're supposed to use. And also for your dashboard, you're supposed to have a page where that shows a series of charts, the most important charts that you have in your visualization should be on one page. Then you can now have maybe other charts that are just like additional information. But normally when they say um Power BI dashboard, it means that from your entire report, the most important visualizations, the most important insights that you want to be drawn, you know your what's it called? You know your problem statements, you know the important things that you are meant to analyze. Do you understand? You should have the most important visualizations on one page, arrange them properly. That's why we have, when you are trying to resize your visualizations, you notice that there's a line guiding you as to where the former visualization, the ones that are on that same lines are. So that you're able to arrange it properly. Just make sure that you don't have some longer than the other. Do you understand? When you're trying to size your visualization, you notice there's a guideline. You have your cards. So on a particular visualization, you can have column charts, slicers, cards, and just the most important ones basically for your report. That's what you have on a particular dashboard. You can also have, so for your card, you can also use that card. This the way I used it here, I think page, is it drill through page? Yes, you can use your card this way. You can make it big and long on the top of your page. Maybe you're trying to show a particular visualization, especially for this drill through. It's very important that they're able to know what you are drilling through, not just you having visualizations and somebody that is checking your work does not understand what is happening, just thinks that okay, oh, this for this month it is for all the regions. They would not have an insight that okay, it's for a particular region. So that's why you need cards as well. And these numbers too, let's say there's a particular importance that comes with the sum of average price per year. I mean, the sum of the average price, you're able to see that in your card. What else have I not mentioned? Basically, I'm just going to send some short videos on maybe other things that I might not mention that I think are also important. But I feel like the most important part I've mentioned. So I don't know if anybody has any question. And normally when it comes to saving, it's basically the same to just control S and name it and you save it. Simple. Does anybody have question on all the things that we've done so far from our first class till now?